Hello and welcome to our channel. We're always grateful for those of you who take time to listen to these Dhamma talks, and we are certain that the Dhamma will bless you. Today's topic is entitled Turn Wounds into Wisdom. We're going to be talking about how we suffer, the way in which our thinking is the cause of our suffering. I'm going to use a quote from Confucius, an ancient Chinese philosopher. You can Google him or Wikipedia if you want to know more about him. His philosophies had more to do with how to be a good member of society, how to be a good family member, how to be a good countryman. So the quote is, to be wronged is nothing unless we continue to remember it. So today we're going to examine how the memory works, at least in part we're going to examine that. We're going to question, we're going to wonder why we like to relive painful, hurtful experiences, feelings of betrayal, etc., whether they're physical, emotional, or even economical, financial. What is it about our interest in bringing these experiences back up in our memory and finding ourselves hurt, injured, betrayed, and angry that this event ever happened? The teaching that addresses this phenomena is if we focus on the hurt, on the pain, on the injustice, on the unfairness of it, we continue to suffer. We're bringing something that no longer exists. It's completely dead and gone. It is not here now. We cannot show it to anyone. We can only tell them about something that no longer exists. But if we focus on the lesson that might be there for us, some insight, then we will continue to grow. In other words, we need to turn these wounds, these injuries, these injustices into some kind of wisdom. This suggests that there is something to learn from our past and from all of the experiences that we have housed in memory. If these memories keep coming up kind of habitually every so often, or in cases of some people, they never let them go. Every single day is a day spent remembering an injustice from the past. This, of course, closes the door of opportunity to have new experiences, new memories that might over time weaken or even erase the painful experiences from the past. What's essential here is that we begin to recognize we do have the power to reevaluate, to re-examine, to reconsider anything and everything that enters the mind. We have to begin to recognize that the only thing that's actually making us unhappy are our own thoughts. The experience is over, whatever it is, whether it was a second ago, yesterday, last week, or 20 years ago, the experience is over. It's our thoughts, and only our thoughts, that continue to cause us to suffer. In fact, our life is just what our thoughts make it. So whatever kind of life we're having in this moment, it's because of what we have in the content of our mind in this moment. The past is just a story that we have concocted to tell ourselves. I saw a quote on social media recently that said that 90% of our problems are caused by our own thoughts. I would maybe enlarge that all the way to 100%. The world that we live in, this moment, this very moment, the world that we live in is whatever the mind is doing at the present moment. And that's the only world there is. Whatever happened in the past and whatever dreams and imaginations and fascinations or expectations we might have about our future, whether it's later in the day or years away, it's self-created. It's all entirely a mental phenomena. Now, this is the really good news, because if these thoughts arise in our mind, usually we consider them uninvited. However they arise in the mind, once we recognize that we can begin to watch them instead of engaging with them, we slowly begin to have the power to transform the kind of thoughts we're willing to entertain. At many temples, Buddhist temples in particular in Asia, they are elevated. You have to climb up a series of steps. At the base of each step, there is a dog or a lion, a kind of mythical character on each side of the steps, and I believe they're called food dogs. Their purpose is to protect the temple. They're to keep out, quote, evil spirits or negative energies or anyone with bad intentions. These food dogs are symbolic of our practice of mindfulness. Our job is to create food dogs at the entry of our consciousness that sorts out who we're going to let in and who we're not going to let in. And if our food dogs are asleep most of the time, this is not going to work. Mindfulness is the practice of being awake by watching what we're thinking. It isn't just knowing that we're thinking something, we're involved, we have begun to proliferate or wallow in various kinds of thoughts. It's that we know that we're doing that, and we want to stop because we know it's not helpful or healthy. So once again, it's so important to remember that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. The present moment may be just fine. Maybe we're nicely housed, nicely clothed, well fed, maybe have friends, a job, etc. That's our present moment. But our imagination, which is what we need to remember the past, is what's keeping us suffering. And therefore, the world is whatever state of mind is agitating us at the moment. So in spite of how our well-being may be good at this moment, our world is a mental world that we allow to agitate us. The world is the feeling in the mind of the beholder, and that's all there is to the world. Our job is to start catching these thoughts, recognizing we are punishing ourselves. We are not punishing the perpetrator, whoever that might have been. Every angry thought, every judgmental, every unforgiving emotion and thought is self-punishment. It's a self-inflicted wound. And without our willingness to forgive ourselves for whatever karma brought about these experiences in the past, and eventually learn to forgive those who delivered the package of unpleasant experiences to us, we're never going to find that peace and that happiness that is promised to us in the pure Dhamma. Thank you very much. I always thank each of you for reaching the end of this talk. I trust the Dhamma will be a blessing in your life. I welcome questions, comments, subjects for future conversations. There is an ebook entitled Kamathena on this channel. You're welcome to download that. My 30-minute Dhamma talks are a page-by-page commentary on that book. Thank you again.